Good morning. After 2 months leave, now again we are meeting, and it is a new subject that we will be discussing today and onwards. That is the Bhagavatam, a guide to liberation. It's a great book. It's a beautiful book, and it is written by a famous person, Vyasadeva. It's combining the love and knowledge together. We'll come to that. And I'm very happy that we are starting this particular subject, particular scripture, in a time when it is apt. Recently, all over the Hindus, they have observed the Holi and the festival of color. That is the time when the Sri Krishna manifested, he played that. So this is connected with the Vishnu and also Sri Krishna. So this scripture will be telling about the Lord Vishnu and Sri Krishna, and these two great gods, they are connected in the celebrations that we have already done. We know that there was a king, we call them demon king, the bad type of people. They never accepted the God, particularly Vishnu. Vishnu is the supreme. That is the mythology, the story they say. And he won't accept it. His name was Hiranyakashipu. But look at it, the divine play of God. His son became very, very devoted to the Vishnu. And his name was Prahlada. So many of you know the story of Prahlada. We have small booklets, if you can read that. These are beautiful stories. Now the Prahlada, he is not listening to his father, disobeying his father. And he is telling, no, I am going to worship Vishnu, whether you like it or not. And the father, then ultimately he started giving him the punishment, death punishment. But nothing worked. He threw him, the Prahlad, his own son, from the top of the mountain. Nothing happened. Threw him in the water. Nothing happened. He forced him to drink the poison. Nothing happened. Then ultimately, he called his sister, Holika. That was her name. And Holika has a magical power that the fire could never touch her. So the brother, the king, Hiranyakashipu, he said that, sister, can you please help me take this boy inside the fire, and fire is not going to touch you, and the boy will be burned. Do that for me. So the huge fire was piled up, and the sister was very happy to help his brother by burning his nephew, and she took that Prahlada on her lap, sat over there, fire started. Well, look at it. Prahlada was untouched by the fire, and Holika was burned to ashes. And Holika, ultimately, he was crying to God, what is it? You gave me the boon that fire cannot touch me. How is it? He told, I gave you the boon for the betterment of others, that you can utilize that boon for the betterment of others. Now you are doing exactly opposite. So I have withdrawn the boon. And that Holika was burned. That means anyone trying to harm others are going to get the punishment in the hands of God. So that is the whole meaning of the story. Holika was burned. Remembering that, people, they burn that fire and then think that all the bad things are burned. And the Holi, the color they play, it says that Krishna himself played. That was the story of the Vishnu. And now the story of Krishna. In Vrindavan, Lord Krishna used to play with his friends the different type of colors. And these colors they used to throw to each other, and you have perhaps some of you must have seen or joined the color game in Hindu temple, Lemont, they were having that in the Saturday. And it's such a big way that police was not allowing us to enter. So many people, they came over there. Why this color? They say the red color particularly is the indication of love, and yellow color is a remedy from ailment, and blue color is the color of God and goddesses, the color of Krishna and the color of Kali, so that is also the blue. And green color is the new beginning. So with the hope of that, they usually play with different type of color. So that is the environment. Now we are going to begin this Bhagavatam. So before we start, as is our system, let us chant this wonderful mantra. I will just quote from one line and then please repeat after me. Shantakaram Bhujagashayanam Padmanabham Suresham Vishwadharam Gagana Sadrisham Meghavarnam Shubhangam Lakshmi Kantam Kamalanayanam Yogibhir Dhyanagamyam Bande Vishnum Bhavabhayaharam Sarvalokaikanaatham. Is offering the salutation to the great God Vishnu, who has a serene appearance. Shantakaram. Shanta means very calm and composed. Everything is happening by him, or everything he is doing, but very calm and composed. That is Shanta Akara. Bhujaga Shayanam. This is very special. He is lying on the Adishesha, that serpent. Over that, if you have seen that picture, that drawn picture, that Vishnu is lying on a huge serpent, Adishesha, Adinaga. Shuresham, he is the master of all the gods. Vishwadharam Gagana Sadrisham, he is just like the Vishwadharam, he is the sustainer of the universe. Gagana Sadrisham, boundless and infinite like the sky. Gagana Sadrisham. He is giving the hint, though the personal God, giving a description of a God, but at the same time, the hint is very clear, it is impersonal. It is like the Gagana, like the sky. Sky is everywhere, all pervading, like that, boundless, whose color is like the cloud that is bluish, and who has a beautiful and auspicious body. The description is like that, and then say Lakshmi Kantam Kamalanayanam, who is the husband of the Lakshmi, the prosperity. The Hindus always gives the one god or goddess, the prosperity Lakshmi, knowledge, learning Saraswati, like that. So Lakshmi is the goddess of prosperity, and he is the master, the husband of the Lakshmi, whose eyes are like the lotus, the beautiful eyes, and who is attainable to the yogis by meditation. Yogivi Dhyanagamyam. Through meditation, one can realize this Vishnu. Bande Vishnum Bhavabhayaharam. I am saluting this Vishnu who removes the fear of worldly existences. The fear of existence. Now I'll be going to Dallas. The subject is the problems of the human being and its solution. I don't know the solution, but I know the problems. But anyway, I will think about how to give the solution. And it says the first solution is fear. First problem is fear. The fear is the first problem. That is why bhaya, bhava bhaya haram. Bhava means this worldly, and bhaya is fear. When we are here, all the time we think, what is going to happen to me? What is going to happen to me? Those who are already on the top of the ladder of the society, they are thinking, are we going to have this or not? And some countries, the presidents, they are thinking to make it in such a way, the rule should be such a way, as long he is alive, he should continue that post. Why fear? I may lose it. And when I am not in that, the people will criticize me. They won't give me the respect that I am getting. There's always the fear, fear, fear everywhere. And if we go to the Lord, the Vishnu, that is totally removed. And who is the Lord of all the lokas? Lokas means different spheres. This is the Vishnu that we will be slowly learning through the scripture, Bhagavata. So we will chant this particular every time when we begin, and also another stotra in the end. So the Bhagavata is a very, very famous Purana. There are 18 Puranas. They found it 18. You know, the Hinduism is a long, long period of time. They're going on developing so many varieties of scriptures. And Purana is a special type of scripture, and it is combined with the history, geography, sociology, economy, all these things along with the spirituality, religion. This is the Purana. And here it says that 18 Puranas are there, but most famous is the Bhagavata Purana. And people, they say Srimad Bhagavatam. Sri as a respect. Though it is a scripture, though it is a book, but we always give the respect because from this book we are learning so many things. So that's why Srimad Bhagavatam, and its influence on the people is profound. Whatever we do, nowadays all the Hindus, knowingly or unknowingly, all the instructions of the Bhagavata. Mr. Emerson, a very famous American writer, he read this book and then he commented, one should read Bhagavata on one's own knees. You should be humble when you are reading the book. That is the meaning. You should read on one's own knees. And if you go to the churches, there's a system that you have to be on your knee when you are praying. On the knee means you are humble before the God. When you are learning, when you are praying, you should be humble. So all the churches, if you go, that you will see the people are kneeling down. In our also Hinduism, they're also having that. Muslim, Islam, they're having that. This is a symbol of humbleness. That is called, Mr. Emerson, he is telling like this, like the Gita, Bhagavad Purana is a book of synthesis. And now the Gita and the Bhagavata. Gita is the teaching of Lord Krishna, and Bhagavata is the biography of Lord Krishna. So this is the Bhagavata. These are all book of synthesis. They always talk about that all different variety of people can go together. It never teach any narrowness in it. The word Purana, Bhagavata Purana. Purana means ancient. And when the Bhagavata came, nobody knew, always the confusion is there. And at present there are 18 Puranas, all are attributed to the same old Vedavyas. And this is the beauty, maybe somebody else wrote. And this wrote means collection of the informations and then composing in a beautiful way. But he or she maybe never wanted that it should be published in his or her name. So it all gave to Vedavyasa. Or it may be that Vedavyasa was having a good number of disciples, very capable disciples. So they all spread it all over and they collected the information and then assembled like that only, as they did at the time of the Vedas. The similar way they have done the Puranas, 18 Puranas. Vayu Purana, Brahmanda, Markandeya, Vishnu, then fifth come Bhagavata. Then come Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Linga, and Padma Purana, Narada Purana, Agni Purana, Garuda Purana, Brahma Purana, Skanda Purana, and Brahma Vaivarta Purana, and Bhavishya Purana, maybe in the future. Again, so they kept it. Bhavishya. Bhavishya means that in the future, Bhavishya Purana. It is difficult to say how and when the Puranas first came into being. Antiquity, many they claim, is next only to that of the Vedas. In the Atharva Veda, the early mention of the Purana is there. So this is very difficult to say exactly on so and so date, such and such date it was. Many people they tried, but others are not accepting, because suddenly you find that another book which is much older mentioning about the Purana. So how we go to that conclusion, the antiquity, the date? Because the people are around in those days, they have mentioned here and there, accordingly we can calculate. Here Atharva Veda and Brihad Aranyak Upanishad, they are very ancient book, literature, believed in the sacred origin of Purana and gave it a position almost equal to the Vedas. You know, the Hindus in the society, the Veda is the supreme. If the Veda is telling, then you must have to obey. And after Veda, then all other things comes. They say it is almost equal to the Vedas. Then come Purana Samhita, come into existence long before the beginning of the Christian era. It is the law books of the Manu and Yajnavalkya that the word Purana has been used. In Hindu society, how the marriage will happen, when a person is dead, what are the things that we should do, how we are going to develop a child, what should be the rule, these, that, everything has been given in the direction has been given by the Manu. They call it Manu Maharaj. Now people are criticizing, thinking the Manu has given some of the instructions that women should not be given education. It is wrong. It is not correct. Afterwards is the Brahmanas who wanted to control the society. They made some of the incorporations and they said like that. Manu is the person, Swami Vivekananda quoted, that Manu is telling, if you have a boy and a girl, then you should try to give better education to your girl. And then afterwards, if you have the sufficient things, then you can think about your boy. So that much importance has been given. And not only that, he is mentioning very clearly in that particular house where the women are tortured and not honored, the blessings of God will never come in that house. In the same way, the society. How can that Manu say that no education for the women? I think people should research more on the Manu, because in between some people they have done in that way. The lawgiver Manu and another is Yajnavalkya. They have mentioned about the Purana, so we can think it is very old. Mahabharata also mentioned about the Purana. And Apastamba Dharma Sutra. This is the Dharma Sutra. These are the books. See, we present day Hindus, we never read these books. But we follow these instructions that has come down through generations. Apastamba, another person, is a Dharma Sutra. What should be the duties and responsibilities of the people in the society? Human society. This is not ordinary thing. Human society is the most precious. So obviously things should be in such a way that no human should suffer, first. Second, they should reach to that stage where they can find peace and happiness. That was the goal of all these teachers. So they were guiding the human being in that way. And this Apastamba Dharma Sutra, it cites passages from the Purana that proves it is very, very ancient. Purana plays an important role in the life of the Hindus, avoiding the academic subtleties and the metaphysical profundity of the Vedas. Purana present in an easily assimilable form and in an attractive garb the essential principle and doctrine of the Hindu religion. Now, if you read the Veda, it's very difficult to understand. Now you read an interpreter. And when the interpreter is interpreting, you do not know what actually he is explaining, because you can't go inside the original one. In Japan, I was giving the lecture and there was an interpreter. In reality, I was giving the lecture to the interpreter only. I was looking at him and going on telling. And then he was turning his face and going something, I couldn't understand what he's telling in Japanese language. So naturally, I was only trying to observe if I have said something funny, whether he is translating that or not, observing the reflection of the smiles on the faces of the listeners. So that way, naturally, interpreter means a little difference will be there. So now, in this way, we find Purana comes straight to the hearts of the people. They bring the love of God and the beauty of the God. If you say, you are the Brahman, Tattvamasi, how an ordinary person can understand that? The great thing, Tattvamasi, but even an ordinary person, that is nothing but a stone. Tattvamasi, what is that? I am God, what I am going to do? So all these problems comes. But the Purana, it brings those principles in a very wonderful way and present it to the ordinary people. So it was accepted in the whole Hindu body, Hindu society. Many of the beliefs and the practices of the Hindus are based on this particular scripture. Most of the Puranas are divided into a particular god, dedicated completely. So sometimes they say it's a cult scripture. They are completely dedicated to a particular god. They will be describing about the god or goddess, and they will say all the time, if you are worshipping this particular god, you are going to get these and that. That way they are telling. But if you look at the Hindu history, spiritual history, religious history, always they will try to present this one or that one as the reflection of the Supreme One. This God or that God. One American lady came and she was asking me, who is the Supreme God in the Hindu temple? After visiting Hindu temple, she came to me, confused. All people are going to all the gods and goddesses. Who is the Supreme God? And my answer was, each and every one are the Supreme God to a particular person. I like Ganesha. So Ganesha is the Supreme God for me. And there is no problem for me. I am respecting others also. This is the characteristics of the Hindus. And similarly, in the Purana, they are giving particularly three gods and goddesses. They are giving Shiva, Vishnu, and Kali, or Shakti. So they are asking people, anyone you choose, follow that. And devotedly, if you follow, a little bit of narrowness comes, the reflection we see in the society. Then if they are following a particular god, they won't accept other, that is there. But the society, the instructions and the teachings are such a broad way, usually people don't think in that way. So this, what they say, they can be considered as the sectarian, but one being is adored under different names and forms. This is what is called the Hinduism. One being, it is accepted and adored in different names and forms. Being Hindu, being a Vedantin, we never hesitate to pray to Jesus Christ. We never say, he was not in our the list. Jesus. Why? Because we see the life. The Hindu always, first they see the character, the life, the behavior of the person. Then they accept it. Then they go for his teachings. Not the first their teachings, the beautiful teachings they are telling, and then they are not. One great political leader, he quoted from a spiritual scripture and then came back and he was asking his friend, did I quote that damn thing properly? So these are the leaders. They always go for their own interest. They don't ever care for any respect. But Hindus are very intelligent in that way. First and foremost, are you following what you are telling? Then only I will go, otherwise not. So that is the Purohita. You are in the front. You are leading me towards God. But are you actually following that in the life of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna? His disciples also used to check and see that whatever he is telling, whether he is practicing or not. Then only they were accepting. So this also here we find different type of gods and goddesses, because we do not know which type of god or goddess will appeal you. And that is the reason there are so many gods and goddesses. Whatever you like, and you can develop another god also, there is no problem. And then you can follow. So feature of the Puranas, this is very important. Friends, we are giving about the Purana, a broad outlook to understand what the scripture that we are going to study. Of all the 18 Puranas, only one Purana we'll study, that is Bhagavata Purana. But how we can call a book a scripture Puranas? These are the following, the feature should be there, otherwise we cannot. Just anyone can write some books and then they say it is a Purana? No, that won't be. The first is, according to the Bhagavata Purana itself, it mentions that to be considered as a Mahapurana, the scripture should have 10 topics should be discussed. What? First is Swarga. Words they use, the terminology they used is a different. First is Swarga. This Swarga means creation, and that is primary creation. I always say it, and those students attending this lecture, you know, always I say the three things are necessary: creator, creation, and the relation between these two. Otherwise, we are not going to accept that as a philosophy or a spiritual book. The Purana first gives the description of the creation, how it comes, and that is primary creation. Sarga, primary creation, that means evolution of the root, undifferentiated Prakriti into Ahamkara, and finally gross elements. Now they are giving us in a story form description. There is a consciousness, and that consciousness, how you will feel. If it is reflected on the ego, then you can feel, oh, he is conscious. Otherwise, you cannot. There should be someone, something which has an ego, identity, I. Then only you can feel the consciousness. Or otherwise, you go and see the wall or the wood, no consciousness as if. But there is a consciousness is still there. The Hiranyakashipu story, the Prahlada story we know. Then frustrated, the father asked his son, where is your God, that Vishnu? I like to see him. I like to kill him myself. He could not kill the follower of Vishnu, that little boy, and he challenged Vishnu himself. And then, in a frustration, in anger, he said, whether you is God, the Vishnu is in this pillar? The little boy said, yes. Because he saw Vishnu everywhere, all pervading. Yes, in this pillar too. And then, if you don't see the movies or the theater developed on that particular theme, you won't understand and enjoy. Great, he will go and then he will give a kick on that, immediately breaking that wall, that pillar, the Narasimha comes. Half portion is the above portion, upper portion is the lion, and below is the human being. He comes, Narasimha, and then kill that. So they're giving the punishment. So this is called Sarga, the primary creation. How? They will be telling that consciousness reflected on the ego. A little baby. But if you say, hey, what you are doing? Immediately he'll react. But who don't do? So the ego is necessary, otherwise you won't find the consciousness. So that is called Swarga. Then Visarga, secondary creation. What is the secondary creation? After this creation, the moment the ego comes, then the beings comes, and after the beings, karma, different type of actions. So they call it Visarga. First is Swarga, the primary creation. Then Visarga means secondary creation. There's a karma of the creatures, latent tendencies. Karma of the creatures. Latent tendencies are there. And up to 15, 16 years, all the tendencies are inside that mind. So suddenly the boy or the girl or the son, the daughter changes. Behavior completely different, thinking in a different way. Then the parents are very confused. Something happened in the school, or maybe the friends. They are all the time, their finger goes on searching, who is actually ruining my child? No one. It is the samskara. And according to the samskara, they go to that particular group. They will surely go, find out, and then they'll enjoy the company of those friends, and slowly, slowly they will also become like that. So that is they say, the karma of the creatures, the latent tendencies slowly becoming manifesting. The Purana will describe it about Visarga. It is also creation. First is the creation, then again it is another creation by us, by me, by you, according to our karma. Just like a seed that is sprout, similarly our karma phala, our tendencies, slowly, slowly it will sprout. Third is the vritti. Vritti means of substance, how I will survive. The means of sustenance, system by which living creatures live. Lord Buddha has given great stress on this particular thing. How you are earning, that is very, very important. How you are earning. The one great gentleman, those who are Indians, they know, he has taken a huge amount of money. I don't know how many zeros will be there that he has taken, and now he has left India and living somewhere here in the Europe or America. But that money will spoil his whole family. He doesn't know. That particular action will ruin his future. He doesn't know. Because it is subtle. So we can't see what is going to happen into the future. So that is the thing. So we have to be very careful. Vritti. How you are earning, how you are sustaining, that is very, very important. The vritti. And Lord Buddha is giving the stress because if the vritti is asuddhya, if your process of the system of living is bad. By cheating others, killing others, if you are leaving, then you are going to suffer in future. So that's why vritti is very important. Then raksha, the protection, on the far stage. Fourth is kam raksha, the account of the incarnations of the Supreme Being. They say that Supreme Being again and again come in different form, in different places, in different times to guide us. That is called raksha. Things are happening in this way, immediately the God is coming down. In the Christian world they say, the God has sacrificed his beloved Son for the human being. Only begotten Son of God, he has been sacrificed by God for the human being. That's called raksha. In the Purana they call it raksha. The God is coming down. We always believe that God himself comes down, not that the whole God necessary, the power only. Suppose I am here and there is another brother who is looking after our Ganges. And power has been given to him to look after the Ganges. If anyone is going over there, immediately he is calling me and telling, Swamiji, these people are coming and they like to stay. I say, go ahead, it's okay, welcome them. The power has been given. But whose power is this? God's. Whose incarnation is that person? Mine. Then similarly, when a holy person is coming on this world and telling, you should do this and you should do that, he is also living in accordingly. So that is called raksha, protection by the God, coming again and again in different forms for the spiritual salvation of the human being. Then mandantara, the timing, the periods of the manus. Manu is not one, manu are many. And when this whole universe is created and looked after, that is done by the manu. So that is called the period of that particular manu is manantara. This is a wonderful calculation, maybe that afterwards we will see to that. His activities and the responsibilities of the devas, then the son of the Manu, Indra, rishis, for the welfare of the creatures. The rishis, they are also representing the God. Manus means the son of the Manus, they are also representing God. And devas, and naturally the question comes that deva means different devatas, different gods? Yes. If you perform your work over here in such a way that you accumulate lot of merits, you become a devata. And supreme power comes in you. You can do anything you like. So the devas, then the manus, the administrator, Indra. Why they are mentioning Indra? Usually we know the Indra is the king of all the devatas, all the gods. Indra is a post. It always changes. Different type of people going according to the merits, they are having that particular position, post. This is the Indra. Rishi is also the same. And they are the main people to look and to see and to take care that the whole period, the people are benefited. That is called Manantara. If you go through this, you will see everywhere the only one object, how to benefit the human being. That is very, very special in the Purana. Then Vamsa, now it comes, genealogy, Vamsa, the list of the royal and the priest are taken down. Then Vamsha Charita, the Vamsha Charita is the history of the different dynasties, kings and their dynasties. Those who served the cause of devotion to God and the well-being of the humanity. Not that all the kings and they will be listed, no. those who are helping people to develop devotion and also helping people to develop in the society, their list is there in the Puranas. Then comes samstha. Samstha means dissolution. At the creation and comes the dissolution. The manifested universe into finer condition. It goes back to the finer condition. And because of the time, karma and the gunas, it all changes. The time is very, very important. There's a beautiful story. The two brothers, they were very poor. They were cultivators, they were doing a little small place was there, and they were orphans. So only two brothers had to help each other. And one day when they are cultivating the small piece of land, they heard the announcement, the king is announcing that whoever will help to recover his daughter from the ailments she is suffering, he will give a lot of wealth to that particular person. Then the young brother told his elder brother, oh, if we could somehow get some medicine and could help that princess, we could be rich. Elder brother is a simple person. He told, don't bother about all that. This is not going to happen to us. Let us concentrate on the work that we are doing. But the young brother was going on thinking, and at the time of resting, he went and sat under a tree, and he was thinking aloud, can anyone give me some medicine so that I can help the princess and can get rich, become rich? Suddenly from the top of the tree, a bird told in the voice of a human, hey, I can help you. I know the medicine, but there is a condition. Whatever you will get from the king, 50% you should give it to me. And you can imagine that boy immediately said, yes, he says, why not? He was not having anything. Now 50% of the wealth that the king was promising is sufficient for him. So 50% if he gives to the bird, there's no problem. See, he went and he said that this is the medicine, and truly by applying that medicine, that the princess became all right, and the king gave him lot of wealth. Now this man started thinking, oh, half of it I have to give to the bird, and half of this again I have to give to my brother. But anyway, I can manage my brother, he's simple. But what about the bird? He's sitting over there. So he hired 2 hunters and told, you better go and kill that bird for me. They tried, but they failed. And this man came and he didn't find the bird. Well, it's okay now. After a few months, again the king's people came and knocked at the door. Hey, give that medicine again, that daughter of the king is suffering. Either you come or give the medicine, and if it is not giving the correct result, we will take away all your wealth. Maybe we will punish you also. And he was terrified. Once again he went to the village and under that tree and started crying, oh bird, I was so foolish. I was thinking in that way. Please, this time you please help me and save my life, otherwise they will kill me. He said, the bird came and told, okay, but this is the last chance, okay? This time you should not deceive me. Well, no. Again he went, again the same thing happened, and then after receiving the wealth, he started thinking, how to deceive that bird? I will go to some other city and settle over there. Bird won't be able to find me there. And he did that. But the king's people again came after few months and knocked the door, and no, this time also you have to come. And it was very fatal, because king was thinking that this boy, for the wealth, is not giving the proper medicine. And that is the reason after few months, my daughter is once again suffering. And he said, if you cannot cure her completely, I am going to kill you. And naturally, he went once again to that bird and said, this time I am promising in the name of my father, in the name of all gods, that is in the human society, please help me, otherwise he is going to kill me, I do not know anything of. And after telling that name of the medicine, he forgets that. So maybe that he was not having the pen or pencil to write it down, so it was the problem for him. The third time the bard came and told, okay, but this time you have to give me the whole thing that you get. He said, promise, I will sure. He went and he said, saved his life, got all the huge wealth, and this time truly he came back and to the tree and said, please take whole thing. And not only that, the past that I promised, that also I will give it to you. Then the bird came down and said, you are a fool. I am a bard. What I am going to do with this wealth? Only I was tried to see that whether you were a just man or not, righteous man or not. That's all. But I don't blame you, no. Every time I came and helped you, why, you know? Because of the time. First time, that time the whole environment was in such a way, people, they were all the time thinking to kill others, cheat others. So you also acted in the same way. You can imagine at the time of the war, the ordinary people, they become so cruel. They go and kill, they snatch the food from the others. Very good neighbor also they changes. Why? Time. So in the Purana, they call about the time. And that goes to the karma, naturally the work that we do. So the bard told, now that you are coming with the full wealth to give the gift to me, is not your quality, it is the time again. Now a good time has come. So the people are all happy. And that is why the spiritual teachers always say, utilize the time. Utilize the time. Whenever there is a holy day, that is the time. That time, that good thing is all over. So go and try to pray. So this is the time. And the dissolution also have 4 different categories. One is total dissolution. The second is partial dissolution, naimittika. And third is nitya dissolution. Can you tell me what is the nitya dissolution? All of us, every day we dissolve this world. When? Sleep. So it's called nitya dissolution. In the sleep, what happens? No world is there. Only I am sleeping that much. So that is called nitya, the daily I am dissolved. And then atyantika dissolution. Atyantika means that is the liberation. So the salvation of the person, or the nirodha or mukti, or the liberation, so that is called atyantika pralaya. Pralaya means the destruction. The first destruction, prakrita pralaya. Prakrita means total dissolution. And second comes naimittika, partial dissolutions. Sometimes the tsunami comes, thousands and thousands of people. And in Japan, wherever you go, the majestical way, that volcano, you can see that. And people are always under the fear. Let it sleep, the volcano should not rise. So that volcano always commanding. So this is called naimittika, partial. Not that the whole society is destroyed, partial. And then nitya, daily. And ninth is the hetu, the purpose, the root cause, and the significance of the creative activities. Jiva is the individual soul, is the cause of avidya. Now ignorance, avidya is ignorance, and is the effect of karma, kama and karma. So this is called hetu, why we are in this life. That is the question. Why I am here? Who am I? So that question takes us to that root. I had a kama, desire, and then I did some karma, action, and hence I am here in this form. The kama and karma, the hetu. So this is the hetu. Then comes the ultimate support, apasraya. Apasraya means ultimate support. Asraya means I am taking refuge. Apasraya, the God is the ultimate being and the support of all. So one should go to God. The Purana also discussed the matter relating to history, geography, astronomy, natural science, sociology, etc. Then Bhagavata Purana, quickly we'll do that. The Bhagavata preaches the highest form of bhakti, Bhagavata Purana, which does not seek for the fulfillment of any desire, and it is unconditional. The Bhagavata teaches the bhakti, it should be unconditional. I just love you, and I don't care whether you like me or not, whether you love me or not. So I love you, that's all. Again and again, Sri Ramakrishna is giving that idea. Now the birth of the Bhagavata, how it was created. There's a beautiful story. The great Dvaipayan, Vedavyasa, he is the editor of the all four Vedas. He is the writer of the Brahma Sutra, Mahabharata, and many Puranas. Even then he was not happy. He was very unhappy. And one day, on the bank of the Saraswati, the river, now the river is not there, but Hindus have great respect for the Saraswati. The Brahmanas, every day at a time of bathing, they will be chanting the name of the Saraswati. And this Saraswati was flowing in front of his cottage. He was sitting by the bank in front of his cottage, and he was thinking, how can I get peace? I have done so much. What else I can do? And then there came Narada, the great sage. He appeared over there, and naturally Vedavyas requested him, "O great sage, can you please tell me why my mind is not at rest, not getting peace? What should I do?" Then the Narada replied beautifully, and from there the Bhagavata begins. It says, Bhavatu nudita priyam, bhavatu nudita prayam, yasho bhagavato amalam. Yenai vaso natusheta manneta darshanam akhilam. So is this Bhagavata, the first sloka it says, first means in the 5th chapter it says, you have not adequately described the glory of the Supreme Lord. Rather, the last book that you have composed, this is the history, the Mahabharata, and you have concluded with the killing and killing only. In the Mahabharata it is all war and war. This man is killing that man is killing this man, and that everything is happening in that way. Even the children, they were killed when they were sleeping with their mothers. So that was the history wrote by the Vedavyasa. How people will think. In the future, people, when they will be reading the Mahabharata, they will be thinking, oh, these people are so cruel, all the time killing. You have not done anything where their mind can rise to the higher level. Do that. You have not adequately described the glory of the Supreme Lord. I consider as imperfect those philosophies which fail to please the Lord because of their lack of devotional exuberance, which alone can give full satisfaction to Him. So you have to write that way. Tvam api tadabhratshruta visrutam bribhoha samapyate yena vidam bhuvutsitam prakhyahi dukkhi moho adir tatmanam samklesha nirvanam mushantina anyatha. And in the Bhagavata, in the same, it says that, O Bhasha, the Narada is telling, you are the master of the scriptures. Engage yourself in the description of His unique glories. Tvam api tad abratam. That means you are the master of the scripture. Please write the glory of the God, which alone can satisfy the questions of spiritual aspirants. There is no other panacea for the woes with which men are suffering again and again in this world. The Bhagavata Purana is divided into 12 skandhas, and the skandhas means the chapters, and contain 18,000 verses, more than 18,000. Is a narration by the Shukha. Shukha is a great sannyasi, son of Vyasa. When he is narrating, Shukha was a pure-hearted man without any desire. He was not having even the body consciousness. That Shukha is narrating Bhagavata to whom? To King Parikshit, who was supposed to die after a few days. You can imagine the man who was ready to die, naturally he was also not having any desire. And why he said Bhagavata? Because of the question that the king asked to this Shukha. He said, what a man should do when about to die? This is a wonderful question. What a man should do when about to die? Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said, if you go on thinking about the death, your vairagya, this passion will increase. Not for the young people, those who are interested to realize God, for them. If you really think, tomorrow I may not get up, so why should I have to do all these things? I am fighting, I am doing this, I am doing that. No bother. Tomorrow I won't be here. At the best you can have a big, nice picture so that people will hang it to remember you. So if you don't have the good picture there, a bad picture will be hanging. So that much. This is fun. Then this is the thing that we must constantly, he is asking, so why, when the people are suffering, they are already going to death, what they should do? Then it goes on telling that avatara hi ashankaya hare satta nibodit dijaha. The different avatars comes and the guide. You must follow that. 10th skandha, 10th chapter of this book is giving the life of Krishna, the cult god of the Bhagavata. The Bhagavata's god is Krishna, not Vishnu. Vishnu has another Purana, Vishnu Purana. And they are the followers of the Vishnu, they'll be only talking about Vishnu. But here only Krishna. And who is Krishna? The power of Vishnu. But there's some very devoted, I should say narrow-minded, the followers of Krishna, they deny that Vishnu is bigger than the Krishna. No. Krishnastu Bhagavan Sayam. Krishna is the only God. There is no other bigger God than him. So anyway, Krishna is the cult god of this particular scripture. And our Ramanujacharya, who is a follower and the devotee of Vishnu, has great difficulty to accept this Bhagavata. Why? Because it always talks about Krishna. And his God, chosen deity, is Vishnu. So he has taken Pancharatra, another scripture, than the Bhagavata. Though the Bhagavata is the scripture of the Vaishnavas. Many Vaishnava sects developed on the teaching of the Bhagavata. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, whose the birth anniversary was in, I think, yesterday or day before yesterday, he has taken Bhagavata, promoted Bhagavata, and his chosen God is the Krishna. Now I will conclude with a beautiful anecdote that happened in the life of Sri Ramakrishna. Many of you, those who have read the great master, the biography of Sri Ramakrishna, you must have read this particular portion. Sri Ramakrishna was listening to Bhagavata. You know, the devout Hindus, wherever the people will be reading the Bhagavata, they will go and listen, whether they understand or not. Because they think, if you hear those voices, you are becoming pure. So that is the faith, that is the belief. Sri Ramakrishna, of course, he understood everything. He was listening to Bhagavata. sitting in the Vishnu temple of Dakshineshwar. And when he was doing that, suddenly he saw Sri Krishna appeared. And the person who was reading the Bhagavata, the teacher, he was reading, the book was open over there, and Krishna came, stood over there. From his holy feet, a light came out, touched the Bhagavata, and then came, touched the person of Sri Ramakrishna. It became a triangle. Krishna, then the book Bhagavata, and Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna afterwards told again and again, Bhagavat, Bhakta, Bhagavan. Bhagavan is the God, Bhagavat is the book from where we are learning, and who is learning? Student is the Bhakta. So the Bhakta, the student, after learning Bhagavata, if he cannot or she cannot transform himself or herself as God, then it is of no use reading Bhagavata. So we have to try to transform ourselves to become God. Well, we will be reading. The next class, we will listen to the 5 questions that the rishis asked. Very interesting questions. The five questions were asked by the rishis to a person who will be describing in the next class. Now, let us chant this mantra and conclude. The great God, whom everyone is bowing down, will be chanting his name. Yam Brahma Varuna Indra Rudra Maruta Stunnanti Divyaistavai Vedai Sangha Padakramopanishadai Gayanti Yam Samaga Dhyanavasthita Tadgatina Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yogino Yasyantam Navidu Sura Suragana Devaya Tasmai Namah. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat. Thank you, friends, for coming, and please have the lunch. Please